So at this time, we're going to present our Citizen of the Year. Today we commemorate the 43rd consecutive year our Camp Springs community recognizes the devotion and respect we have come to know as our Memorial Day Parade and services conducted by Simon Gosney Post 219 of the American Legion. The American Legion's long-standing motto has always been, "For God and country." These four words have become synonymous with a tradition in our country to recognize the need for divine intervention in times of strife and conflicts. For among our greatest freedoms that we possess and continue to experience to this very day is the freedom to assemble. And among our greatest gifts from the freedoms we cherish is the gift of our youth, especially those who are with us today and shared their Memorial Day messages with us while representing the two area grade schools and our Campbell County High School. In 1975, Simon Gosney Post 219 established its Citizen of the Year Award, presented to an individual or organization for outstanding contributions to our local community. Again this year, our chosen recipient for Citizen of the Year reflects the distinguished qualities that we recognize in a community leader and a friend to all. When one places his or herself in a unique role of community service, or in another word, volunteerism, the image that it conveys to everyone else is of someone who is doing something very special for others. But to the recipient, it is simply a part of the very fiber of that individual's character, to serve and help others before self. But where do these values and character traits originate from to create one's inner desire to serve others rather than building a resume of self-serving accomplishments? In many instances, men and women who grew up through some of our country's most difficult and suppressing times, we respectfully call them the members of the greatest generation, learned these valuable lessons from their parents and teachers. And even then, in most cases, they learned incredible lessons from their grandparents who immigrated to the United States during and after the World Wars. Long before the arrival of the technological advancements we experience today that consume much of our children's interest, kids from that generation were expected, not asked, to always help their neighbor, respect their neighbor, and become even a better neighbor or member of their community. So in their case, it truly revolved into a daily way of life, living to learn and living to love one another every step of the way. And if their faith and devotion to God and country is sincere and committed to serving others, then what a tremendous legacy they have left for others to follow. Even before our honoree was born, a significant occurrence took place overseas that would one day unite Europe, our honoree, and the Camp Springs Valley. In 1875, long before our honoree was born, our honoree's paternal grandmother emigrated to the United States from Alsace-Lorraine. Now, the imperial territory of Alsace-Lorraine was land created by the German Empire in 1871, and part of that territory lays in the Rhine Valley on the west bank of the Rhine River. Rich German heritage. 56 years later, on April the 4th, 1931, at 9:20 a.m., a beautiful baby was born in a nice, modest home in Cold Spring. And judging from our honoree's infectious personality, it would be no surprise if the usual slap on the back to clear the airways resulted in an alarming response that could be translated into baby talk as, "Now let me tell you a joke about the butcher and the baker." The parents surely knew their child was someone special. or they named their own child after one of their foster children that they had cared for. So at the early age of probably around 2 or 3, her family moved to Camp Springs, where she attended St. Joseph Grade School, and then attended Our Lady of Providence High School in Newport. And all the intricacies of learning from nuns who she would remain close to in her later years as an adult volunteer. While in school, she loved history, especially ancient history. And believe it or not, we learned one of her favorite topics became known as the steamboat era. We may have to ask her later today to share with us any of her experiences at Tall Stacks, or possibly her bedtime stories about Mark Twain. Now, in spite of her dislike for math, our honoree's very first job during high school, in addition to her daily chores, was ringing up change on a cash register at the local 10-cent store. But throughout high school, her name would always be found in the top 10% of her class. Again, no surprise to any of us, as she remains one of our most lovable, huggable, and hardest working volunteers our community has ever been associated with. Before our community interests started consuming a great deal of her time, a handsome, dashing type of fellow. Want me to repeat that? Also discovered her at a dance, and likewise found her to be lovable, huggable, and quite enjoyable to be around. So sure enough, they married on September the 4th, 1948, and ultimately settled within the valley of Camp Springs, surrounded by family and friends. Our honoree wasted no time at all becoming an integral part of nearly every organization that sprung up in the community, starting with St. Joseph Parish, from cleaning blackboards in the classrooms to managing the ovens and serving lines at the kitchen, from maintaining the interior beauty and cleanliness of our historic church, to assisting in securing the ancient formula of ingredients for the much sought after recipes protected by law as defended in the Constitution of the Camp Springs community. Only a few people know that recipe. Countless meetings, fundraisers, festivals, weddings, visitations, fish fries, ballparks, dances, and even a short walk to your car gave everyone following one of these events a golden opportunity to spend time with their dear friend. Her inspiring devotion and dedication to the Ladies Auxiliary is unparalleled, and due in large part to her immeasurable devotion and love for her number one family, her husband Bill, and her 5 children, the late Donna Mayer, Billy, Mark, Maria, and Michelle. Combined, they have blessed our honoree with 12 grandchildren, 13 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grandchildren. And when asked by her daughter-in-law to name her most proud moments in life, our honoree never hesitated in thanking God for raising 5 good children and good grandchildren. And one can only imagine that the beautiful flower gardens and the years upon years of nurturing those flower beds were the very seeds of caring and love that were planted into her life by her paternal grandmother from the old country. Now we just may understand ever so simply why a rose by any other name is as special to our community as that one word we all admire and respect, Melrose. Today, our combined communities and the Simon Gosney Post 219 of the American Legion honor our recipient with this special award. Please welcome the recipient of Simon Gosney Post 219 of the American Legion's 2016 Citizen of the Year Award, Mrs. Melrose Guthier.
responders, please stand still. Be here. I think I'm going to get physically ill. Thank you very much. I do not deserve this. There's so many people in this community that work so hard. I'm just a hugger. I mean, if I can do anything, I'll give you a hug. And hugs don't pay a whole lot of money. Hi, Cheryl. Hi. Thank you very much. I don't deserve this.
Melrose, there's probably a couple hundred people say that
You want me to be ill?
This award is presented to Melrose Citizen of the Year for outstanding contributions to the community, given by Simon Gosney, Post 219 of the American Legion, today, May 30th, 2016. We love you, Melrose.
Well, I love you too, but I'm almost speechless, and I've never been speechless in my whole, and Shirley can tell you that. Anybody can tell you, my mouth runs off and on. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so grateful for your patience and consideration in joining us today for these tributes. This is a wonderful, wonderful display of showing of support to the community.
Thank you.
We do want to thank our organizations, our Fire District Number 1, all of our veterans that are with us.